how easy it is to make a different spaghetti. This spaghetti is going to be made with wieners. Some of you may call them hot dogs. This recipe, I'm going to be honest with you, it's out of sight. So easy to make. You make it Gina Young style. You're going to love me for this recipe. Here are the ingredients you're going to need. Of course, you're going to need some hot dogs. Your favorite hot dog. Okay, if you don't eat pork, don't worry. You know they got chicken. They got turkey hot dogs. They got beef hot dogs. Use the kind that you like so you can enjoy the recipe. Okay, so now I have one of my favorite spaghetti sauces. Okay, and it's chunky. So it has all kind of nice veggies that they sneak in there that taste really good. We're going to add some sweet Vidalia onion. And for this recipe, we're going to use sugar in this recipe. Okay? If you wanted to leave it out, by all means you can. You'll need a couple spices to make this thing taste good. Salt and pepper. Garlic and onion powder, parsley flakes, just to make everything nice and pretty. And then I always like to use a thin spaghetti noodle. Okay, and then along the side, we got to make some Texas toast. Make sure your hands are impeccably clean. Let's get started with this amazing spaghetti Gina Young style. So now let's just talk about it. This is a spaghetti that I grew up eating. My dad would make it, and I loved it. I loved it. It was quick and simple. It is cost effective. Doesn't cost you hardly anything to make. Your whole family's going to love it. The little kids, Uncle Bobo, Aunt Sue, the neighbors, whoever you make it for, they're going to say this is mighty good. I'll show you how it's made. So now in my pan, I have just a little tiny bit of oil, whatever kind of oil you want to use. Okay, and on the larger stove behind me, I do have some water boiling. And I have salted the water because we're going to need to cook our spaghetti noodles. What I like to do when I make my noodles, I will boil the water. We're going to salt it to give the noodles flavor. And then we're only going to cook our noodles for 11 minutes. They're going to turn out nice, beautiful, and al dente, which is chewy to the tooth and never mushy. Nobody wants a mushy noodle, right? Heck no, we don't. Okay, so let's move a couple things around just like so. I hope y'all are having a great day today. Somebody, anybody in the comment section below, I would love to know, is this a recipe that you've tried? Or is this a recipe that you're interested in and you just might try it? Let me know in the comment section. So what we're going to start off doing is, let's go ahead and cut some of our... The pan's getting hot. I didn't know I turned the burner on. Let's go ahead and cut some of our wieners, okay? Cut them as thick or as thin as you want, just like so in this manner. And even if you wanted to dice them, sure you can. Like, have fun with the recipe. I even feel like if you wanted to add or use a smoked sausage for this recipe, it would be tantalizing. I have yet to do that. But I do really feel like it would be delicious. So growing up, my dad would make this recipe and I lived for it. When he made it, I was first one at the kitchen table and I was chowing down on it. And if my sister didn't want hers, I was eating my plate and hers too. I know, we did that a lot at the house. Sometimes she didn't want her macaroni and cheese and she could scrape it right onto my plate. And I'd be sure to eat it. Alright, so now that we have our, and I'm using like a pack and a half of hot dogs. You use as least or as much of the hot dogs that you want to use, really up to how many people you want to feed. So the reason why I'm using a whole pack and a half is because when I make the spaghetti, when I take a bite or my loved ones take a bite, I want for every bite that they take of the sauce and the spaghetti, I want them to get these gorgeous hot dogs on their spoon or their fork, okay? So now let's take these, get them into our pan just like so, and I'm looking for a nice char. You know what a nice char is, a dark color onto the meat. Okay, so that's what I'm aiming for. And once we get that dark color onto all of the meat, and it won't take but just a couple minutes, turn it on, turn your pan on like a medium heat, and it'll happen very quickly. So it's nothing you want to walk away from. If you walk away, they could actually burn. I don't know what kind of word I just said, but you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. Temply. That ain't a word, but we'll work it out, right? We're going to move right through that thing. All right, here we go. So now we're browning our hot dogs in such a manner. Next thing we need to do is we need to bring our onion into the equation. Even though my spaghetti sauce has onion in it, I want a little bit more. And I want to saute the onion. I want that nice sweetness to shine through of this gorgeous sweet Vidalia onion that we have. I'm not going to use a whole lot, just a little bit. And if you want to add mushrooms and bell peppers, you can. Use your favorite spaghetti sauce. Even make up a homemade spaghetti sauce if you want to. All right, so now, I'd like to say the last couple years, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, so I heard about Jollibee. I've never tasted it. Never tasted Jollibee, but I've sure heard of it. And I've seen people eat it, and I've heard them say that it has hot dogs in it. And I thought, that's what my daddy makes. That's what my dad made when I was growing up. And you could also hear people when they taste it, they say, and it has a bit of a sweet taste. And so we're going to mimic that today, but just know in the back of my head, the memory comes from eating it as a child. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and cut up some onion, just like so. Right before my meat gets nice and golden brown on both sides, I'll throw the onions into the pan so they can begin to get a nice, like a golden brown color, nice and sauteed. And once that happens, believe it or not, the onions will begin to get nice and sweet and they taste better. Okay, so we got our onions cut. Let's make our way to this larger stove here. I've already salted the water, okay? And now what I want to do, I'm going to get my noodles in. Just going to let them fall. The water is already boiling. Here in a couple of minutes, I'll be able to go back to that same pan, give the noodles a nice stir just to make sure that they're not sticking. I do like to tell people, when you're making a spaghetti noodle, you do not have to put oil in your water. If you want, here's the thing, here's what I like to tell people. You want the sauce, if you're going to be mixing the two, you're either one of the two people. You like to serve your noodles underneath the sauce, right? Or you're going to mix the noodles in with your sauce. If you're going to mix the noodles in with your sauce, you want the sauce to stick to the noodle. And if you put oil in your water while the noodles are cooking, the sauce just slides off of the noodles, right? And we're not looking for that, right? So don't put, you don't need the oil, okay? In the meantime, between time, we have some beautiful hot dogs browning up just like so. And when I come back, you're going to get to take a peek in at our sauce. I keep wanting to say sausages. At our hot dogs, we'll check in on our noodles. Keep in mind that we're only going to cook them for 11 minutes so we can cook them to perfection, just like so. If I haven't said, I hope y'all are having an amazing day today. I hope you're having a great day today. These hot dogs smell so good. They have a nice, beautiful golden brown color on them. And remember, always remember, the more color that you get onto something like this, whether it's a smoked sausage or a hot dog, the more color that you get onto it, the better it's going to taste. Okay, so now is the perfect time. I'm going to go ahead and put my onions in. If you are putting mushrooms or bell peppers in there, now's the perfect time. And so now is what we're going to do is we're looking to saute up our onions. All right, they're going to get nice and sweet. They're already sweet, but they're going to taste even better. Just a couple of minutes in here, we're going to toss them around. Okay, and then we'll be adding in your favorite spaghetti sauce. Great. Oh, the whole house smells so good. I am seriously really reminiscing about eating this when I was a kid. Now, I did talk about Jollibee, the restaurant. that makes a spaghetti that's very similar. Although I'm talking about it, I've never tasted it. But I almost can imagine what it tastes like when they say has a little bit of sweetness and it's got hot dogs in it, right? Sounds like what my daddy used to make when I was younger. So we're making it today here at the Youngs, and my family is waiting with anticipation. They're super excited. Okay, so let's go ahead and add our sauce. I'm going to use 2 jars. Okay. Beautiful. And I believe I'm going to go ahead and mix in the noodles. Me personally, when I have spaghetti, I'm the one that always prefers to have the noodles underneath the sauce and then put as much or as least sauce as you would like to have on top of your noodles. But my family, they like it mixed in, so I give them what they want. Right? Just like that. They spoil me and I spoil them. That's how it goes. All right, gorgeous. Oh, you could only imagine. Smell it. Just smell it. And so now's the perfect time. We're going to season this thing, make it taste good. Garlic powder, don't be afraid. Onion powder, don't be afraid. Even though we have onions, you still need onion powder. It tastes good. All right, I'm going to use some salt. If you can't use it, leave it out. Not too much. We will go in, no matter what you're cooking, you go in and you taste it so you know what you're feeding to family, okay? You don't want to feed somebody something and you ain't tasted it yourself. Taste it yourself so you know it tastes good when they eat it, okay? All right? Gorgeous. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Oh, my. Ooh. I'm doing that so you can smell it. Let me know in the comment section below. Do you kind of feel like you can smell it a little bit? I'm going in with sugar. Now, the people that don't want the sugar in there, kind of cover your eyes a little bit. You know, I don't want you to have some type of fit. But I'm telling you one thing, I promise you it tastes good. All right, so now, come on, just like so. I'm going to grab a handy dandy spoon, and I want to taste. I'm not going for the vegetables and the meat. I'm going for the sauce to see how it tastes and if it tastes to my liking. All right. Boy, is it perfect. Now listen, there's one thing that I need. I want Parmesan cheese and I want it in the sauce. Okay, you can let your loved ones put Parmesan on the top as they make their plates, or you make their plate for them, but I want it in the sauce. Okay, always the kind, and you're always going to see me with the kind out of the green shaker bottle because I think the flavor is super delicious. I really do. Unless I'm making like an Alfredo, then you'll see me use a more, a different Parmesan. Look at this. Oh, the sauce smells so good. We got noodles we need to address. Let's go ahead, grab the noodles because they're done. I know they're done. I'll pour them right into my strainer here. Okay. Let just a little cold water run on them just for a minute. All right. Oh my, and the goodness. And you know what? I feel the need to taste it again because I want to make sure it's right. You got to make sure it's right. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. Now's the perfect time while this simmers. Clean your kitchen up. When you clean up after yourself, you are not going to be stressed out over a dirty kitchen. You're going to be happy. It's going to be time to eat. And there's no mess. There's no mess. Keep a hot, soapy sink, you know, full of soapy water. Our noodles are perfect. We'll let this simmer. And when I come back, you're going to see how this is plated up. I know. You're going to see how it's plated up. You're going to get that first taste. Look, it took it. Look how thick. It's like a thick sauce. Oh my goodness. You don't need ground beef. You don't need ground meat to have a good spaghetti. Heck, you could use, You see me do it. You could use shrimp and scallops if you wanted to. You could make a Haitian spaghetti Gina Young style if you wanted to. So many different ways that Gina Young likes to make spaghetti, and all of those different ways are absolutely amazing. So I think what I'll do today in this video, there's going to be a video attached to the middle that you can click on and watch for how Gina Young makes Haitian spaghetti if you would like to check that out. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to attach 2 other videos for 2 other different types of ways that I like to make spaghetti Gina Young style. So feel free, after you watch this video, to run right over and click on over at those videos and see how you like it and which one you want to try first. Our noodles are done. I have rinsed them. Okay, and so now you put in your desired amount of noodles. I typically like to put in like equal parts noodles to equal the sauce. I don't want too much sauce and a little bit of noodles. I want the noodles and the sauce to be kind of balanced. All right, gorgeous. We're gonna give it a nice stir around, and when I come back, we're gonna plate it up. You're gonna get that first bite. Take a look. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Tell your family and friends. Tell everyone you know what Gina Young is doing in this kitchen on a daily basis. Lord, I thank you for providing food. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. Gotta have the garlic bread. You have to have garlic bread. Oh, make it up. Amen. Once again to my beautiful prayers. God bless. Good night. Man, that tastes good.